So, Gabby, the international break is upon us. The Premier League so far has been a whirlwind. But, in the international break, we can take a step back and talk about things off the pitch. So now I want to really deep dive into what was Gabby like during these international breaks. Ooh. And the Aston Villa training ground we'll start with. What were players like when it was international break? Were they calmer? Was it more intense?
I think the normal international break would be, say if you played on a Saturday and it's international break for 2 weeks, you'd be off on the Sunday, then you'd come in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and training would be normal. You do your normal sessions, you get a few more young lads come up and train with the first team, and then you normally have most managers Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday off on that free weekend, and the players would go to different parts of the world.
Oh, here we go, international Gabby again.
On a little break. But training was normal. You do a lot of maybe six-a-side competitions, called them round robins.
Yes.
And just train normally.
Do some of the players look forward to an international break, even like when they know they're not getting called up? They're like, "Oh, can I get away?"
Yeah, I think like it's a win-win sometimes. You get called up for your country, you're buzzing. If you don't, you still get to then have a few days off. You get to refresh, go somewhere abroad with your girlfriend, or with your friends, or with your kids. And the ones that didn't play for their countries just used it as a chance to, refresh.
And now to the flip side, did your diet go out the window? Any cheeky takeaways?
Diet went out the window every week. No, I think it was more for me. It was a chance to, I always thought it was a chance to get abroad, go somewhere, try somewhere different. You could go somewhere in Europe, America, Dubai.
Is this your warm weather training in brackets?
You do little bits, but what manager started to do near the end of my career was GPS.
Okay,
and heart rate monitor, and you'd have a set of runs you had to do each day you was away, so you'd still get your training whilst you were abroad.
Now we want you to name some names here. Was there any of your former teammates who really took their foot off the gas and a bit lazy, need to kick up the backside?
During the international break, I think players went away and enjoyed, like Charles Zogbia.
Yeah, it was either one.
He used to go to Miami, I think, most international breaks, or New York for like 3-4 days. But I think players used to go and enjoy and come back on the Monday then. And there were a few players that were a bit, worse aware. But it's normal, when you're getting that time off. Some players would come to London and have a 3-day bender in London. So it was different for each player, but a chance to, recharge the batteries.
Now, moving a bit away from the international break, we want to now talk about the money in football. Obviously, salaries, it's talked about all the time. Simon Jordan loves talking about it as well. So do you remember when you got your first deal at Aston Villa? How much was it, if you don't mind disclosing? And do you remember what you sort of spent that money on to start with?
I think I remember when I was 17, was it? No, not 18. I think I signed my first professional contract, and I think it was $1,500 a week. And I just remember going to, I was quite chavvy back then. I remember going with my best friend to the Lacoste shop.
Oh yeah.
And I used to do these tracksuits with the collars.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah.
And
I still have one of them. So.
Yeah, so me and my friend brought him 3 colours. I bought every colours. Brought my friend a pair of trainers. Bought myself a few pairs of 110s.
Quite generous as well.
Yeah, 110s at the time they were called. But I just remember when the money hit my account, the sign-on fee from that contract, I was just like, bullring shopping time. Then I got a new car. Remember getting a Golf that bought off my friend's dad. And it was a bit like, wow, going from £80 a week, which was my scholarship deal for 2 years, to then $1,500. It was like, wow, what a change.
And now on the flip side, and you don't have to disclose the amount, but when you were on your biggest contract, what would you say was some of the most extravagant purchases you made?
I think the most extravagant was I bought an Aventador, a Lamborghini Aventador.
Wow.
And I remember scaring my little daughter at the time. I think she was probably 3, 4, maybe 5 max. And scaring her, she was crying in the car.
Well, you just revving it, were you?
Yeah, I was driving quite quick. She was like crying. But then I only had it for like 9 months because the weather's not right for England.
No, can't have it down.
Speed bumps, a lot of you can't drive them sort of cars in the weather we get.
And who would you say during your time was maybe a gym rat, always in the gym at the training ground, like thinking they're wham as well? in the
You
mirror?
know, James Milner was a gym rat. James
Really?
Milner used to moan that we
Really?
didn't train enough, but
I mean, look at him today.
there's a
He's
reason
still
why
playing.
he's still playing now,
Yeah.
isn't there? And I'm sat here talking to you. But no, you know, James Milner was definitely in the gym a lot, always doing his core stability.
So obviously you said you were quite well behaved when it came to diet, but if you could pick one cheat meal when you were playing, what would it be?
Oh, Chinese.
Yeah, all of it as well.
Yeah, Chinese. Yeah, like that.
Big John.
Big John.
Bosh.
Sweet and sour chicken chow mein. Noodles.